Brought to you by 1AAuto.com, your source for quality replacement parts and the best service on the internet.
Hi, I'm Don from 1A Auto. I hope this how-to video helps you out. And the next time you need a part for your vehicle, think of 1AAuto.com. Thanks.
In this video, we're going to show you how to replace the Serpentine belt on this 2001 Ford Escort ZX2 with the dual overhead cam engine. And it's a little involved, but not that complicated of a project. You'll need a 10mm socket and ratchet, as well as a 13mm socket and ratchet. Okay, the first thing you're going to want before you do this repair is a belt diagram, and we have a nice one made up for you right here. It should give you a pretty good representation of how the belt is routed. Starting at the top left, that's the alternator. Then going to the right, that's an idler pulley, to the power steering pump, then down to the AC compressor, then over to the crankshaft, then to the tensioner pulley, then to the water pump, another idler pulley, and up to the alternator.
Lower front and right front wheel area, there's 7 10mm bolts that hold the splash pan in place. In this case, on our car, there's only 4, but you can remove all of them.
And actually what we find is we take off one and the pan kind of bends down, and we tried to remove the other ones, but the clips in behind were so rusted that we decided we didn't want to break all of them, so we just kind of left it that way and just kind of let the pan or the splash pan hang down out of the way.
I've got a 13mm socket on the end of my ratchet, and I'm going to put it on the bolt that goes through the pulley, on the tensioner pulley, and I'm going to turn it clockwise to remove the pressure on the belt, and then slide the belt off the crank and the rest of the pulleys.
Okay, now the rest of the way it's kind of a matter of just pulling it down, twisting it a little bit to get it off some of the pulleys, and you could also pull it off from the top as well.
Not really going to be able to see me doing the belt, but sneak it back in and follow the diagram for routing it.
Okay, so that first step that Don just did, he just kind of got the belt down, kind of down below the AC and the crank pulley preliminarily. Okay, and what Don just did there was there's just some clearance issues getting by the water pump and those tensioner pulleys, so he just kind of twisted it to the side and got it over on its way to the alternator.
So the top part is pretty much done. It's around the alternator, underneath the idler, and over the power steering. So now I want to get this belt on the other side of this pulley, the ribbed pulley here. So I'm going to twist it and try not to have it fall off the alternator pulley, which is right above it. All right, good.
Okay, now what we've done here is we've pulled a loop across, and you can see I'm helping him out a little bit, just holding the belt off of the AC pulley so you can pull the loop from that tensioner on the back side of the motor towards the front and put it onto the tensioner in the front of the engine. Okay, in order to get the wrench in there, it's better to have the pulley off of the crank rather than the AC pulley. So he just transfers it, takes it off the crank so he has enough room to get it on.
I'm using a 15 millimeter here, which is what the new one came with. And turning it clockwise, I have to release the tension on the bearing. And I got to make sure too that all my belts are on the pulleys, because if they're off a little bit, it's not going to give me the room I need. So everything is on except for the crank pulley. And as I do this, it's going to give me more room. I'm going to hold it tight.
And you can see Don, he's working the wrench with the right hand, and then using his left hand, push the belt up onto the crank pulley.
And make sure they're all on. All right, make sure all of them are on and the belt's lined up with the teeth on your pulleys. You can plug your AC back in if you took that off to gain more flexibility getting in there. And I'm just going to give it one more look up top, like below. I want to make sure that the tooth belt is seated correctly on the power steering, alternator, water pump, and below this idler pulley.
And once you've done that, just put the splash pan back up and bolt it back in place. We hope this helps you out. Brought to you by www.1aauto.com, your source for quality replacement parts and the best service on the internet. Please feel free to call us toll-free 888-844-3393. We're the company that's here for you on the internet and in person.